Hi, I'm Emma, and for this criticism, I'm going to be analyzing It Is Well with My Soul, the hymn, originally written by Horatio Spafford. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that pronunciation too much, but performed by Joey and Rory. They did like kind of a modern take on it, and it was a live performance. You can find the link to the YouTube video and all of that. But for this criticism, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the actual written hymn by Spafford, and then getting into the performance of Joey and Rory later on. But for this artifact, the hymnist is Horatio Spafford, and he is famously known for losing his son in the Great Chicago Fire. And shortly after that, he lost his job. The plan was to bring his family over to the UK to find new work, and so that was a plan. Last minute plans changed before they were going to go to the UK. He sent his wife and his 3 daughters to sail across the Atlantic to go to the UK, and he was going to stay back and then meet them later. Well, on the way, journeying across the Atlantic Ocean, the ship that his wife and 3 daughters were on sunk because it hit, I believe it was some sort of I don't know, some accident happened, and his 3 daughters ended up dying. And his wife survived and sailed back, continued on to the UK, and Spafford went to go meet her and sailed across the Atlantic, same route that his wife and 3 daughters were going on until the accident. And as the ship was crossing the site of where the ship wrecked and his 3 daughters died, he wrote this hymn, It Is Well With My Soul. And this hymn, I believe, is most famous because of this very reason, that this hymn full of steadfast faith and in the midst of such horrible, horrible circumstances and hardship, he's able to say that it is well with his soul, and have that blessed hope and blessed rest with his soul in Christ, even amongst these hard circumstances. So that's a little bit about the artifact itself and background and context for It Is Well With My Soul hymn by Spafford. And now getting into some of the points that they asked us to talk about. This artifact is really I chose to focus more on the pathos, so the emotional appeal, and I'm getting now into more of the performance by Joey and Rory. They really lean into the pathos emotional appeal in the performance, which is why I chose that, because one, I just think the hymn is really impactful, and a live performance of the hymn is you just can't help but think about the context and that Spafford wrote those words in, and being able to see someone perform that live and kind of maybe dwell on that and maybe internalize it for themselves, of maybe their own hardships or create their own meaning and context for this hymn is really cool to see. So yes, getting into the organization of the hymn, it is very organized. It's kind of like a narrative. It starts out describing trials, the trials that he was going to, kind of hinting at that. The lyrics read, though Satan should buffet, those trials should come my way, and using phrases like regarding my helpless estate, and just you can really see and get a context for the hardship that we know he was going through once you look back at the context. And then it kind of ends triumphantly with it kind of concludes and recovers almost with the triumphant lyrics that read, O trump the angel, O voice of the Lord, blessed hope, blessed rest of my soul. And O Lord, haste the day when faith shall be sight, the trump shall resound and the Lord shall descend, a song in the night, oh my soul. So that's kind of the organization, just kind of a narrative talking about first the hardships and the just where he currently is at and where the Lord is meeting him, and then kind of recovering that, and it gets a lot more triumphant and encouraging and that sort of thing towards the end, maybe. The style of the hymn would be, it's very, I don't know, I think the style kind of transforms, like I was mentioning in the organization. Like it kind of starts out really calm. I don't know if calm is the word, but you can feel the sorrow, and it's kind of more stilled, and then as the lyrics go on and the hymn goes on, that picks up a bit, and it becomes more triumphant and more of an anthem. And then talking about the delivery, in Rory and Joey's performance of again, keying into that pathos, they're really keying in on that emotional appeal. And Rory, the lead singer, she has her eyes shut the whole time. She's smiling ear to ear. That's really catering to the delivery and the tone of the hymn and the words she's singing. You can see her kind of internalizing the words as she's singing them, and as if they're her own words that she truly believes and is delivering to the audience. And I think the audience, at least it was impactful for me, so I imagine so for the audience she was working with. Or delivering it to. Again, memory, kind of going to the performance of Joey and Rory, very practiced, delivered perfectly, and again, like you could tell she was internalizing it and making it her own, which I think helps with the memory on her part. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you can look over the hymn and maybe agree, disagree with these points, and kind of see what stuck out with you from the performance and the actual text hymn itself.